Hello all, welcome to the part 2 class for the parsing technique look ahead parser. This is step number 3, right? So here you can find it. We are going to take all the identical elements, right? What is identical elements? Let me tell you. It will have the same production, only the look ahead values are different. Let me take it. First identical elements are number 1 is iteration number 3, comma iteration number 6. If you go and check iteration number 3 and 6, the production rule will be same, but the grammar, the look ahead values will be different. That is, either it will present, that is, say for example, let me write some iteration number 3 here, right? Iteration number 3, you can find it ends with look ahead value called C/D. With the same production, iteration number 6 will be having it as dollar. So that is the difference, right? So we used to call this as iteration, that is core identical elements, right? So in that way, the second similar core identical elements are iteration number 4 and iteration number 7. Wherever you are going to call iteration number 3, we are going to represent it as iteration number 3, also as 6. Wherever you are going 4, that is going to represent at 4 as well as 7, right? What is the third thing? Identical elements are iteration number 8 and iteration number 9. So these are all the core elements, identical elements. Step number 3 is going to be a very simple step. Why? Because just you are going to take all the core elements and present over here. This is going to help step number 4. As you all know, step number 4 is going to be a very crucial parsing technique, that is constructing a parse table, right? In order to complete that step, we are going to combine and find the union for the same identical values. I am going to take iteration number 3 and 6, right? So I am going to write here C tends to small c dot a capital C, comma C/D, comma dollar. So we are combining both, right? This dollar is iteration number 6, this C/D with the same grammar is iteration number 3. So we are going to have this as one single iteration, right? And left out grammar I am going to mention here, C and small C/D, comma dollar. Again C tends to dot D, comma small C/D, comma dollar. So all this is called as iteration number 3, 6, both together. So here iteration 4, 7, taking union for this, C tends to D dot, comma C/D, comma dollar. So this is going to be a iteration number 4, 7, that is a union. Iteration 8, 9. We have already taken this in the previous thing. You can check it over there. We are just taking that and finding the union. And C tends to small c capital C dot, comma C/D, comma dollar. Now we have this grammar already, right? The grammar in the what is it like? We have, oh yes, let me show you. So we have this example. We are going to check where this all this particular grammar and ended with, right? You can check it over here. Let me show you something. 8 and 9, C tends to small c capital C dot. Where it is in this grammar? Here it is. C tends to small c capital C, right? So we used to call it as row number 2. So mention it as row number 2 also here, right? I'll tell you why we are mentioning it, because we are going to take a first of values and all these first of values to be applied in that particular table. The table is called as a parsing table that we are going to construct, right? Again here 4, 7, C tends to D, right? So let me show you where it is C tends to D. Here it is C tends to D, and this particular grammar ends with that particular number, that is iteration number 4 and 7. So I am going to mention it as R3, right? Let me find you where is R1, right? So here you can check it. R1 has a value that should be S tends to capital C and capital C. Let me show you where it is. S tends to capital C and capital C, right? I'll show you. Yes, here it is. S tends to capital C and capital C and it is iteration number 5. So this is called as R1. So we are going to just check it. We are going to just check all the rows. We are going to take all the process and we are going to check where this particular grammar is ended with. Right. So after finding R1, R2 and R3 in that internal part of go to function, we need to number this only for understanding. I cannot say that this is what you need to do it compulsory. No, this is for your own understandability where it is ending. And if you are mentioning all this, then it is very simple for you to construct the step number 4, that is parsing table. Right. So we have did this already in SLR technique. Then it is going to be a very simple for you. Now we are going to construct this with the states. So here we are going to write all the states, and here we are going to write terminal and non-terminal, terminal as well as non-terminal values. Right. How many states we have? We have I0, we have I1, we have I2, and all the identical values. If I'm calling I3 comma 6 will also appear. Why? Because I3 and 6 is identical, right? If I'm calling I4, we need to write I7 also. Why? Because I4 and I7 are identical, and I5 is non-identical, and I'm calling I8, then I9 is also called. Why? Because it is identical. Right. Now I am going to write all the terminal values C, D, dollar, and non-terminal value capital S and capital C. We are going to construct the same similar way. I naught comma small c, it is moved in S3, that is iteration number 3. When you are calling this 3, we need to mention 6 also. Why? Because it is identical. Whenever you are calling the identical elements, then you need to call the similar identical values also, right? I naught comma small d, it is moved in S4, and 7 also called because it is identical. Dollar, nothing is there, and I naught comma capital S, we have E1, that is first iteration. I naught comma capital C, we are getting E2. E or S or B or C, whatever it is, this is for just understanding. If you are just mentioning, I am just differentiating terminal values and non-terminal values with this particular what is it, like alphabets. Okay, you can able to change any of this alphabet, or else if you are comfortable with only numbering, that is also possible. So it is our own way, right? So here I1 is a starting state, it is a augmented grammar state, so it will have only acceptance state, right? So nothing else it will have, right? So let me take it to the I naught comma small c, I naught comma small c, we are getting S3 and also 6, and I naught comma small d, we are getting S4 and also 7. So I naught comma dollar, nothing, I naught comma capital S, nothing, and I2 comma capital C, we are getting E5. So whatever I am constructing here, it is only based on the previous step, that is go to function, right? We need to take all the iteration, compare with this particular go to iteration number 3 comma capital C, we are getting what? That you are going to mention here. If you are getting a new iteration, that iteration number has to mention here, right? So I am doing it in the way. Why? Because I have already explained this, how to construct this table number, parsing table, which is in SLR parser, right? So I3 comma small c, it is moved in S3, calling the identical values also. I3 comma small d, it is moved in S4, then we are calling the identical element here, it is also there. So dollar is not there, and what else here, capital S is also not there, and capital C, yes, it is there, I'm mentioning it as, and we are getting 8. So 8 and 9 is identical values, so we are going to take that, right? Now you can see 4, 5 and 8. So all this is reduced value, not reduced in the sense it has a complete thing which has been already done, right? So if you go and check what is 4, what is 5, and what is 8 comma 9, you can able to see that all the grammar which has been come to an end. I have shown you that as that in R1, R2 and R3. Okay, so now we are going to take this, what is 4, I4, we are getting C tends to D dot. Okay, C tends to D dot, and we are getting this value C slash D, as well as we are getting dollar. So we are going to call that as yes, that as row number 3. Row number 3 in a particular grammar, right? I will show you that row number 3 also here. So here it is, right? So go and see, you can go and check all the steps above. What is R3? R3 is C tends to D, and also we have this precedence value, we have C slash D, we have dollar, right? So if we have C slash D and dollar, then this R3 has to resemble in all the C, D and dollar. So I'm mentioning here, so what is that? R3, 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 right? So if we get these identical elements, why? Because these identical elements will have dollar as well as C slash D. So C, D and dollar, wherever we find this, we're applying this R3. Rest of the part we are not doing anything, just give a error part. So I5 is non-identical values. So let me show you where is this I5 is representing. So I5, yes, here it is. You can check it here, I5. S tends to capital C dot, and it has only dollar, right? Dollar alone, there is no C slash D, and it represents row number 1 in a given particular grammar. So here I5 is not taking C slash D, it is taking only dollar. So I'm mentioning it as R1. And remaining part here 8 comma 9, it is taking, it's an identical element, so definitely you will have C, D and dollar. So I am representing it as R2, right? So the remaining part is empty. So now you can check it over here. All this process has been completely done. Based on this, we are going to construct a parsing table with an input string.